Hello developer, welcome back to our YouTube channel. I hope until now you get the general idea of web development with HTML, CSS, JavaScript and React. If you want to level up your coding skill, TypeScript is a way to go. TypeScript helps you to write quality code, maintainable and scalable applications. So in this video, I will cover the definitions of TypeScript, some of the advantages and also how to use it. Let's go!
Okay, so what is TypeScript, right? TypeScript is a language and it is developed by Microsoft. And in the simple word, you can think of it as a JavaScript plus Type, right? So this is actually a story behind why they are developed, why they are designed TypeScript. So there's a really big company, they are working on applications and it's work normally until one day the whole application was shutting down and they have no idea what's going on behind the scene, right? It just shut down. So actually eventually they knew that it's because of the functions is expected to receive a string, but they are passing a number, right? So at that time they didn't know the issue, and then eventually they have to think of it. Is there any language, is there any way I can detect this issue before it even happens, right? When the developer they are writing code, we should have a way to figure it out the error before we launch with the user using the website, right? So that is the story, that is the history of TypeScript. Okay, so now let's see the coding part. As you can see now on the screen, I already set up a project, right? So the package.json, I have installed a package named TypeScript, and the version is 5.1 and 6, right? And the script to run the project is build, and it's gonna file on the TS on the TypeScript file, and then it's gonna build for me. Okay, so what does it mean by that? So we will see. And then the second file you are seeing right now is called tsconfig, right? So why do we need this file? So behind the scene, we don't the language or the machines, it doesn't understand TypeScript. We need to convert TypeScript to JavaScript so we can see the results on the screen. Okay, so I will show you. I will show you that part later on. But you need to have the tsconfig file, tsconfig.json file. Okay, all the setup it has been already in the GitHub, so you can check out that later on. Okay, and I also have create a file named index.ts. So right now in the index.ts is only have one string, or basically I want to console log hello world. Right, so now let's see how it's how it's showing for us in terminal. Okay, as you can see right now in terminal, I am at the terminal, right? So the first step is writing yarn and build. So if I going back to the package.json on line number 12, right, the name of the script is done, build. So I am click enter, right? So the moment is done, you can going back to the folder, going back to the file. So you can see it's automatically create for me a folder named build, right? And inside of that, I have one file named index.js. So you can see it's transformed the TypeScript to JavaScript, right? And from the name of the file, it's exactly the same thing. I had the index.ts, and now in the build folder, I have index.js, right? And the same content as well, I have console log hello world, right? So now when it had complete convert from TypeScript to JavaScript, I can start actually running the JavaScript file. So how to run it? By using Node and specify which file I want to run, right? So now my index.js is inside the build folder. So I need to provide the path by writing /build and then /index.js. Right, click enter, right? So you can see now in terminal, I have the word hello, right? So basically it's from line number 2 or it's from line number 1 from the TypeScript file. right? So you can see behind the scene, it's convert from TypeScript to JavaScript. Okay. So similarly, you can do to other. So for example, I am having a functions or I am having a variable, right? So you can see the results in terminal, right? Okay, and remember to run yarn build every time and then specify the file, the name of the file you want to run. Okay, so that is how to run the file, right? How to run a TypeScript file. So let's go into TypeScript, how to adding the type to any variable or a function, right? So in JavaScript, we have a data type, a simple data type like string. We have string, number, and then Boolean. Okay. So if you don't know what is this data type in JavaScript, you can also check our videos before. We already covered that part. Okay. So I'm gonna declare a variable. Let's say first name, right? And then equal to my name, Andrea, right? And on line number 5, you can see that the type is the string, right? Because we have the double quotation here, right? So in TypeScript, if I want to add a type, after the name of the variable, I need to add colon and then the type string. Okay, so let me take note here. Syntax, the name of the variable, and then columns, and then the type. Okay, that is how you are adding a type for any variable. Okay, so similarly, we can do to another one. So let's say this time I'm using const to declare a variable, and let's say it's age, right, equal to 7, right? So on line number 8, you can see right now 7 is a number, right? So the same principle, right? After the name of the variable, I am at column, and then the type is gonna be number, right? So similarly, let me take another example. Is added or is favorite, right? It's up to us, and for the type, let's say it's true, right? Similarly, I'm gonna add the type here as Boolean, right? So for example, you are seeing right now, it's just like the primitive type, right? So let's say if I have objects or if I have an array, how to writing the type for an object and for an array, right? So first thing first, let me take an example. Const user, right? Or instructor, let's say like that, right? Const instructors equal to an object. Inside an object, I won't have the name of the instructor, right? So let's say that's going to be Andrea, that's going to be my name, and then the second field is course, right? And then I am teaching full stack, so I'm going to writing full stack here, right? So you can see right now on the screen, right, on line number 14 to line number 17, we have one object. The name of the object is instructor, right? And inside an object, we have two key and value pair. The first one is name, and the second one is course, right? And let's start writing the type. Right? So exactly the same as what we have known before. We could also writing the type here by adding the colon, right? So what is the type of instructor? It is an object, so that's why we have the curly bracket here, right? So inside an object, we have name, right? And the type of name is a string because you can see the double quotation here. So I am writing string here, and the second one is course, is also a string, right? So now I have done writing the type. For objects, right? But actually we have two ways to adding the type for objects. So this is the way 1. I could show you the second way, and this is actually a better way. Why? Because right now you can see it's a little bit hard for us to see, right? We have the name and we have the value here, so it's a little bit hard for the developer to see, right? So we could actually writing the type separately, and then we only adding the name, right? Okay, so let's doing the second way, right? So first I need to write the type for the objects. So the syntax is type. We need to have a keyword type, right? And then the name of the type, right? So when it's come to the name of the type, it's actually up to you. You should give a meaningful name, right? It's the same for the name of the variable and the name of the function, right? So in this case, I'm gonna name it as instructor, and there's a rule. If you have name of the if you have the name of the if you have the name of the type, it should be uppercase. Okay, so now I knew that instructor is the object, right? Instructor is an object, so I saying that okay, instructor is an object. I am writing the curly brackets inside an object. I also have the name. Is the type is also a string, and the second one is the course is also a string, right? So now I have done complete the type, right? So let me copy this. Let me actually comment that out, right? And then I will copy this one and I'm pasting it here, equal to the value is name and then the course, right? So this is the original object we have known before, right? So now similarly, column and then the name of the type, right? So now on line number 24 to line number 27, I am define the type, right? And I am using this on line number 29, right? I would recommend to you this way on line number 24 to line number 27, so you can see it's easier for you to see, right? And remember, the name of the type, it should be uppercase, and if you are for convention, it should be the same name with your variable. Okay, yes, so that is done, right? So we have the in terms of declare a variable, we could also have the second way by using interface as well. So it's similarly interface, right? So instructor, right? So we could also have the second way as well, and there is not much difference between type and then interface, but this kind of like a rule. If you are using interface, that's only the application, it should be interface, right? And if you are using type, only the other file, only the folder, you should also using interface as well. Okay, so it's kind of like a rule, right? So let me pasting it here. We also have the name and then the course, right? So now if you want to use interface, it's exactly the same thing, the name of the variable and then the name of the type, right? So I actually preferring the first way, so I'm gonna comment out, and then I'm gonna keep the first way by using type, right? But you can also using interface as well. Okay, so let's moving on to another one. Let's say I need to writing the type for an array, right? How can I do that? So array, let me take an example. Const number list equal to 1, 2, 3, right? So it's a similar thing you have from before. You could also have the columns here, right? And then you could write square brackets. So the square bracket here is represent for an array, right? And inside an array, I have 1, I have 2, and I have 3, right? And the type is as a number. So basically, the number list is an array of number, right? So I should write number before the square bracket, right? Okay, so that is how you are adding the type for an array, and there's actually a there's actually a note here. If you are writing number inside the square brackets, if you are writing number inside the square brackets, so that's gonna be a totally different things. They're gonna be totally different things, right? Well, what does this mean? Let me remove it and then writing number inside of that. Okay, and right away you can see it's already giving you an arrow, right? If you are writing number, if you're writing number inside the square brackets, it means that your array only have one item. Your array only have one item, right? But right now, on line number 41, I have 1, 2, 3, right? So if number here, okay, so always remember writing the type of each element inside an array outside of the square brackets, right? So that could be a way you can actually using number inside the array. Okay, so let me write that corns number or number array, right? Number array equal to 1, right? So now you can actually writing the square brackets and then number. It doesn't show for you any arrow, right? Because right now inside an array you only have one item, right? And you could also hover to that, right? But on line number 42, I wouldn't recommend for you to use this way, right? You don't know, maybe in the future you could add any more, you could add some number into the current array, right? So let me remove it and let's start using this way, right? So adding the type for the array, right? So let's do something else. Right? So right now we only have the number, right? So if we have a function, how to adding the type for the function, right? So a functions, keyword functions, I am naming as add number, right? And for the parameter part, it's gonna expect two parameter a and b, and I'm gonna actually return the sum of a and b, sum of two parameter, right? And let's say I'm gonna invoke the functions add number and I'm gonna pass 1 and 2, right? And of course, if you want to see the value of add number, you need to console log it, right? So Ctrl V here. Okay, so now you seeing right away, it's on line number 46 is showing for you the arrow, right? The underline, the red underline is showing to you, right? So that is actually one advantage of TypeScript, right? It doesn't need to wait for you to actually run it, right? I haven't run anything in terminal, but it's already show for me the arrow, right? So you can see right away one of the advantage of TypeScript, right? So now on line number 46, it's actually asking me what is the type of the parameter, right? So now A is gonna be a number. I am expected to pass a number, right? And then the second one, B, is also a number, right? So on line number 47, right? I am return the sum of two parameter, which is A and B, right? And in TypeScript, or when I have a number and plus a number, that's gonna return for me a number, or the return of this function, the return of add number, that's gonna be a number as well. Okay, so that is how you are adding the type for the function. If you have any parameter, right, you need to provide the type for the function and also the type for the return, right? So in here is actually a note for you. If you have a simple logics, right? So let me remove number here. It doesn't show for you any arrow, right? And the moment I am hover to the name of the function add number, it's automatically detected for me the return type as a number, right? So right away you can see the advantage of TypeScript, right? It's had the suggestion for you on the basics project, right, it's automatically detect for you the result, right? So that is the reason why you don't need to write number here. It's automatically understand for you, right? So now let's try to run the functions, right? And the step is yarn build. The purpose of yarn build is to convert TypeScript to JavaScript, right? So you can see right now in the index.js, right? It's adding the logic I have been showing to you until now, right? So it have the functions. So now let's see the result of the add number functions by writing note and specify which file I want to run and click enter, right? So you can see right away it's console log for me the word hello world, and the second one is the result of the function. I am adding the number 1 and 2, so it's gonna return for me 3, right? So now let's on line number 47, if I remove the word return, so what does this mean? So basically I have a function, but I do not return anything, right? So in TypeScript, when you have a function, and this function, it doesn't return anything, by default, it's gonna giving the type at void, right? Okay, so remember, it's a function, it do not return anything, the default or the return type, that's gonna be void. Okay, so let me copy this and I will pasting it here as value or numbers with the plural, and this time I do not return anything, right? And then the first one is I am return the sum, right? And you can see right away it's already showing for me the type number is not assignable to type void, right? Why? Because when I define the function, I'm saying that it's gonna return for me void, but the return part, it's return for me a number, right? So it's showing for me the arrow right away. Okay, so that is only the concept I want to introduce today, but let's actually go deeper into the advantage of TypeScript, right? So you can see now on line number 25 to line 35 to line 38, right? So that is where I am defining the type, right? I'm defining the type here, right? So in TypeScript, it's like a shell document, right? I know what kind of data I am dealing with, so it's easier for a developer to maintain, right? So I knew right away the name is going to be a string and the course is also a string. So that is the first advantage of TypeScript, easier to maintain because it is shell document, right? And the second part is it have the suggestion for you. So what does this mean, right? So right now I have instructor, right? If I want to extract the value, Andrea, right? So I'm gonna need to write the name of the objects and then dot key, and you can see right away it suggest for me which field I can access, right? Because I have the object, I have name, and I have course, right? So this object is only access to courses and name, nothing else, right? You can write, let's say, starter date, something like that, right? Because we don't have that, right? In the objects, in the instructor object, we don't have any key and value name started, right? Okay, so again, the advantage of TypeScript is already telling you the error even before you run it, right? And it gives you the suggestion name, right? It gives you the suggestions and even the autocomplete. Autocomplete is the same thing for courses, right? Course, and the same thing for example, if I remove the type. For example, if I remove the type here, right? The moment I am hover to number list. It's automatically detects for me what is the type of the number list. It is an array of number, right? So you can even copy this and then pasting it here. What is the type? What is the type of the number list? It's an array of number, right? Okay, yes. So that is actually all for TypeScript, right? So to summarize, TypeScript is a language, right? It's a language, and it was developed for you, for developer, and also for user. It makes your life much easier. And for me, for personal say reference, I also prefer to use TypeScript, right? We are know what kind of data we are dealing with, right? It has easier for us to maintain because it's self documents, and TypeScript providing for me the autocomplete, and it providing for me the suggestions. So it's make me easier when I writing the code. Okay, so that is the basic about TypeScript. I will see you again with another concept in TypeScript, right? So what if an array I have not only a number, I could have also a string, right? How to writing the type for this array, right? And we also have another concept, union type in TypeScript. Okay, but that's gonna be for next time. Okay, thank you for watching this video, and I see you next time. Bye bye.